Hello. My name is NicholassRivas. I talk about politics and stuff, and today we're going to be talking about Trump wanting to basically just terminate the Constitution. I think at this point we're not confused about where these people lie. The Republican Party has perpetuated that they don't care about democracy, and maybe they might be staying away from Trump now, but they were, parading this guy, and they were proud of this guy until they finally saw his fringeness really come out. So I don't want to hear any of that bullshit of like, well, we didn't know. Yeah, you knew. He was saying stuff like this, like praising Kim Jong Un for his dictatorial attitudes. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Trump wants to terminate the Constitution because he believes there was massive voter fraud. The voter fraud he's referring to is everything he's been talking about, throughout the loss of the election of 2020. On top of most recently Elon Musk and a prominent Twitter personality basically made a thread of people for people in regard to the Hunter Biden story. Hunter Biden's laptop was leaked, and you saw DNC members and Republican figures trying to stop these certain stories. And for the DNC side, for the Democrat side, I mean, not DNC, I don't know why I'm saying the convention, but the Democrat side, there were people from the Biden campaign saying like, hey, please don't post that. I think some posts were rightfully taken down, and because of, they were nudes, like they're revenge porn at that point. That's illegal. Some posts seem to be suppression because it was an embarrassment, like, oh no, the president's son or the potential president's son is a cokehead, like understandable things. But the Republicans also asked to spread information and censor information. Talibi, the Twitter personality who made this thread, admitted that. He said, yeah, there was both sides trying to collude into basically voter suppression or in knowledge suppression, so, news suppression, right? So there's this Republican line now that they think that would have overturned the election. How would that have? I even had one of my videos. I talked about this Hunter Biden story, and I had this guy say that, yeah, I saw a poll that the people would have voted for Trump if they knew about the Hunter Biden story. What the hell are you talking about? Nobody would have voted for Biden if the Hunter Biden story was in front of them. But you want me to believe that if this Hunter Biden story is as severe as you believe it is, you think people are terminally online like us, like where they're checking their Twitters, and like if you're not watching Fox News, this story would have never even made it to MSNBC. You know what I mean? Like, I only know this story because of Twitter, and so I believe that there is this bias. I believe that there's this like, yeah, MSNBC wouldn't have talked about it, but if you're watching MSNBC, I doubt you're gonna watch Fox News and then vote for Trump. Like, it's kind of an either or, right? Like, you're watching Fox News, you hear these stories, you're probably going to vote for Trump anyway. And I have polling data to back it up that people were going to vote for Trump and Biden because of certain big topics, not Hunter Biden's laptop. Most polling done in the United States was stating that people were talking about Roe v. Wade, inflation, and I think the economy in general. So why the fuck does Hunter Biden's story even rank near that? Like, where do you even quantify that story to be something that people are going to make a vote on? Like, it's just not true. So when this whole Constitution thing comes out, I go like, okay, the Hunter Biden story is massive to these people, but it just sounds like they're grasping for straws. So when Trump is like, I'm going to cut the Constitution, that should be the news story. That should be the main topic. Because what Trump said was, and because of the massive voter fraud in his mind that just came about because of the Hunter Biden story, he believes that he deserves to win. He wrote on Parler saying that, yeah, I deserve to win and we should terminate the Constitution. That was his post. That's not something I'm making up. The guy verbatim said, we should terminate the Constitution because I didn't win and I think I should have won. He said, so with the revelation of massive and widespread fraud and deception and working closely with big tech companies, the DNC and the Democrat Party, do you throw the presidential election results of 2020 out and declare the rightful winner? Or do you have a new election? A massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. Our great founders did not want and would not condone false and fraudulent elections. Yeah, but they would condone the fucking Constitution, you dumbass. But that's not the story to people. People don't care about that, and that's what's blowing me away. Is this guy, who is supposed to be a lover and supporter of the Constitution, is against it because it's, I guess, not in his favor. Like, I just don't understand what this. I don't understand how people aren't upset at this. How people aren't mad. And if you still think the Hunter Biden story even caused a ripple in anybody's voting, you're just wrong. You're just very wrong. But I digress. Trump is, and has been, a dictatorial person. He wholeheartedly supports the fascist, the authoritarian pieces of shits like Kim Jong-un or Bolsonaro, who are willing to commit voter fraud to stay in power. They are willing to be, through any means, powerful. And, someone like a Hillary Clinton, who I don't like, the lady stepped down and she conceded. Now, granted, she's been perpetuating this, the Russians and da-da-da-da-da, which I agree there was some voter fraud in some capacity in regards to, I wouldn't say voter fraud, but there was some interference, right? That was confirmed by James Comey, that there was interference. Was it enough to sway? I don't know. And I don't think it will ever be clear enough. I think to many it might be. But my thought is that during the 2016 election, Trump was just that good of a candidate, so I'm not surprised that people voted for him. What I am surprised about in 2020, where they think he had a chance. So to go through COVID, to go through these deaths, this record high inflation, of course not through his time, but this unprecedented time of really crazy stuff. I don't even think the best president could have, like a president that I think everyone globally would have loved, because Trump was unpopular at the time. Not the most unpopular, but not the most popular either. He wouldn't have made it. He was going against a pandemic. That's what's not surprising to me, right? So when I hear this Hunter Biden shit, when I hear him try to terminate the Constitution, it's not like a disagreement anymore. It's not like we're just on two sides of the different, political spectrums. He's a piece of shit who wants to end democracy. Like, he shouldn't win. And his party supporting him, people like Ron DeSantis, who may be the one to beat him, isn't saying anything different. He's more quiet with the voter fraud stuff, and I give it that most of his candidates who are spewing similar rhetoric, they lost. So I think the writing's on the wall. They're like, hey, hush, hush. If we think there's voter fraud, which we all do, Ron DeSantis basically sent out voter police to check on people who may have committed voter fraud, which is, there's already a procedure in place, but he started arresting people. This is a thing that just happened last month. Ron DeSantis started arresting people. And they were released the next day with no charge, but they had a wrong signature or something. It was just the weirdest shit. So Ron DeSantis is also in this boat of, he believes there's voter fraud if it doesn't fit him. And so I don't think he's any better. I don't think Trump is any better. They're just, he's more loud with it. And I think finally people like Bolsonaro and Kim Jong-un to get that support from Trump shows that they don't care. They want to be dictators. They want to take over the world. They don't give a shit about your democracy. And if they do, they're really bad at showing it, because they've been spewing and backing people who are against that. And finally, the nail in the coffin here, he wants to terminate the Constitution. There's no democracy without it. There's no freedom of anything without the Constitution. So when he says he's going to terminate the Constitution, he's saying he doesn't want you to have freedom. But hey, I'm just some random left liberal blue hair social justice warrior who's been trying to warn you. So thank you so much. Have a good one. Goodbye.